Hello, hello everyone. Happy Sunday. It is I, Whimsy, here to deliver your tarot readings for the day and for the week, and to let you know what is up with various different things regarding the news from a tarot reader's perspective. So for those people who are just tuning in, my name is Whimsy. I'm a tarot reader. And I also do something called remote viewing. Some people don't like that term, so we just say nightly meditations, where I use the meditative state to attempt to see or feel certain things about people in the news. A couple of rules. We always ask permission energetically from the person we're attempting to get information from, so we never say anything that we don't have any permission to say. And I don't engage in gossip, like people want to know about Prince Harry's marriage. I just, that's private stuff. I'm more interested in using my skills to look at political persons, people who we voted for, or people who are in political positions of power. But I don't do marriages, I don't do gossip, I don't do celebrity stuff, because that's people's private lives. So, all right. This is of all of the remote viewings, of all the meditations I've ever done, I have to say, this is the worst. I really hate doing this sort of thing. I hate seeing this sort of thing. I hate having to deliver this kind of message. I hate the fact that other people hate there's nothing fun about this, but once we get through it, just like my having to do the Putin video, once I get through this, it'll be done. But I did another meditation on Alexander Acosta. I had made a few errors in the meditation I had done on Alexander Acosta previously. I got into his energy and I saw the trajectory that things are going to go very bad for him very, very quickly. He is going to have to testify. It's bad. His future is bad. I had mistakenly said that he was a judge. He was actually a prosecutor in Florida. He helped get a sweetheart deal for Jeffery Epstein, who's a pedophile. You can Google all of the information about that. But he now works, I believe, as the labor secretary for Trump. And Trump had seriously thought about making him the AG. So I got into his energy again last night. I didn't even try and do a meditation on him, but for whatever reason, the universe does whatever it does. Last night when I did a meditation, again, Alexander Acosta came in. And I tried to get as much information as I could about why Alexander Acosta had done what he did. And here is the quote I heard, and we can document it today, and then we can see if it plays itself out. But here is what I heard and what I want to document, because we love science here at Tarot with Whimsy. So we always want to use the scientific method to document a remote viewing and see how accurate we get. What I heard Alexander Acosta say is, I did it as a favor to the judge. Okay? That is what I'm hearing. Now, if I heard it incorrectly, or if I got some aspects wrong, that is also something I want to review in the future. But what I'm hearing, when I'm in the energy, sounds like I did it as a favor for the judge. So, what that seemed to be suggesting when I asked for clarification, or when I went into the meditation, is that the co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein were high-ranking officials, people who were in government, people who were in local politics, and possibly judges, and people who were in criminal justice. And so what Alexander Acosta did is he buried the case in order to cover up and protect people who were high profile and specifically a judge or people who were in positions of power like judges, lawyers, etc. Now we know that the lawyer Alan Dershowitz, who has come out in support of the Trump administration, he was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein's. Flight logs show that he was traveling with Epstein, and one of the women who claims to have been sexually abused by Epstein was also on the flight log. So her name was also mentioned. So that would be an example of, say, a high-profile lawyer who is associated with Jeffrey Epstein. But what I'm hearing when I get into Alexander Acosta's energy is favor to the judge, which tells me that it isn't just one lawyer who is on the list of potential clients that Jeffrey Epstein supplied girls to. So the bigger story is not Alexander Acosta covering up or burying this story or giving a sweetheart deal to Epstein. That is not the real story here. The real story is that Alexander Acosta appears to have intentionally buried this story and suppressed evidence in order to cover up the fact that high-profile people in government and possibly judges, lawyers, etc., were clients. And so out of a favor to them, Alexander Acosta was asked to bury the story, and that is what he did. Now, if that is the true story, and it's feeling that way when I'm in the energy, this is really serious. You know, this is really serious. It's a serious allegation, and we're just going to have to wait and see how it plays itself out. But that is the horrible, wretched, awful, yucky, icky information that I was able to bring back from my meditation about Alexander Acosta. Now, when I go into his future, I still see the same thing. I see loss of reputation. If he's a member of exclusive societies, that's going to be taken away. Possibly disbarment, subpoenas, lawsuits, poverty. The guy's in a lot of trouble. So I still see the same trajectory for his life. If you look at that from a karmic perspective, the victims had something stolen from them, and it led to unbelievable trauma. And with trauma comes poverty, because if you have post-traumatic stress disorder, it's very hard to earn a living. It's very hard to take care of yourself when you have that kind of trauma. And what happened to these children, many of whom were already traumatized, is that they were horrifically traumatized in the worst possible way that a human being can be traumatized, to be enslaved and to be sexually abused. And the most vulnerable of the vulnerable, which we are of course obligated to protect. So instead of being protected, the men that were in positions of power to protect, lawyers, judges, police officers, etc., who were put on this earth to protect children, were the very people that these children were being threatened by. And so karmically, it will lead to extreme poverty, and for those people who were involved, reputation destroyed, everything they worked for destroyed, financial poverty, lawsuits. Anybody who was prosecuted by Alexander Acosta now has a case against him, because it's obvious that this guy can be bribed, he can be manipulated. So all of that is going to be revealed. Now, one of the other people that came through, unfortunately, was Jeffrey Epstein. So people had asked me to look into his energy. And you know, I always call on white light protection, and I always try to protect myself when I go into this type of energy, and I'm usually very safe. But Jeffrey Epstein basically says that he is living a very controlled life. This is what he's claiming. He goes to his jobs, to his business, back to his home. In plain words, he showed me a very insulated life. He claims he lives a very insulated life. He claims he has to report, and he claims that his behavior gets monitored, including his behavior on computer. I assume he's a registered sex offender, but how it looked to me from what Epstein was showing me is that his behavior is being monitored. and that he lives a very guarded life with only a handful of people. His life is very insulated. And then I had asked Jeffrey Epstein if he abided by everything he was supposed to abide by, not looking at child pornography, etc. And what he said is, he said that they have a way of monitoring me, but I know how to get around the monitoring. So that's not to say that he does or doesn't break the law, but he is saying that there are ways to get around the monitoring that he's subjected to. So that is the ugly awful with Jeffrey Epstein. But probably it's going to make him some type of pariah, and he'll probably lose a lot of money, and, you know, rightly so. And so bad things are coming for those people. Whether or not everybody on the list is going to be outed, I think it's very likely that the full extent of what Alexander Acosta did by covering up and protecting people, high-profile people, I think it's going to come out. All right, the next thing I looked at was the Michael Cohen testimony. It's a lot I looked at, right? And it keeps going on to the same thing: fear that he's going to be killed, fear that he's going to be assassinated. As I had said in a previous meditation I had done, people were hiding documents at the Michael Cohen offices. Trump Organization documents were hid there. Now it's coming out. If you look at the video I did last month on going into Michael Cohen's offices and how they had hid stuff over at Cohen's offices, thinking that it was going to be like an embassy, that the feds wouldn't be able to go in. Then the feds went in and they took all of that Trump Organization documents. And I had also said that that Ivanka's signature was on a bunch of stuff. So that's now coming out. And then, as I had also said, he had documents and information available to him about foreign bank accounts and foreign dealings that were not found in the initial raid. All of that stuff was also made available to Robert Mueller and to SDNY. So now you're up to date with all of that. So we'll probably be seeing more about his handing that information over. And love scorned, right? You know, he used to really adore Ivanka Trump, but boy, that karma is changing quite a bit now with him handing over all the stuff with Ivanka Trump on it. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards now because I want to see a couple of things. Somebody had asked if I'd throw cards on Epstein. I'll go ahead and do that. And then after, I'd like to do cards on Alexander Acosta, Epstein, and Michael Cohen's testimony today. So we're going to run a little later than the normal 20 minutes, but I'm just very curious about what we're going to find. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's take a look. Flopsy is retired because my cat keeps going crazy. All right, what will be with Alexander Acosta? What will be with Alexander Acosta? What is his future? I'm thinking it's not going to be pretty. You know, redemption. Admit to everything. Admit to every person who you protected. Cooperate, cooperate, cooperate. Stop protecting bad people. He's been rewarded for bearing the story. He's been promoted because he protects his friends, but that's not justice. That is not what he was put in this world to do, and he's learning the hard way that what he did, he was supposed to protect those children, not his friends. That is a hard spiritual lesson to learn. Where he's at right now, completely devastated. This will haunt him to his grave. It will destroy his reputation. It's the biggest mistake he ever made in his entire life. And every relationship from here on out is going to be determined by this one choice he made. trying to establish a foundation, trying to dig his way out of this. Not good. He will fail. He has lost this war. Inverted Ace of Swords. He has lost the battle. This is bad. This is like suicide watch, kind of. This was the biggest mistake he could have ever made. That any human being, he's going to lose the war. Look at that. Inverted Ace of Swords, inverted Five of Wands. Nobody wants to negotiate with him. This guy is a pariah. What is above him? This guy, he's... What a fool! My decision. Action, reaction, frustration, emotional temper. Jeez, what a nightmare. These are the... Oh my God. This is... You guys saw me shuffle. Look at this. Is this the worst card chart I've ever done? Action, reaction. His temper, his actions, his behavior lead to torment. What he marinates in, Ten of Swords. What he's trying to do. He's trying to get some control of the situation. What's above him? Above, so below. Foolish choices lead to... This guy is going to have trouble even getting representation. Look at this. Ace of Swords inverted. His situation is so bad, he's going to have trouble finding legal representation. Yeah. It's so weird. Sometimes I can see the cards before the cards come. I always think of this as walking away from the broken man. I don't know you, Mr. Acosta, but I did so much for you. I bailed you out. I kept you out of prison. Come on, Judge. Aren't you people going to be there for me? Nope. Hopes and fears. I'm telling you, the most powerful person that's going to be outed in this whole story is some kind of a judge or something like that. Look at this, inverted Knight of Wands. This guy has no future if he doesn't repent. Clarification. Look at this. He has to repent. The only way out of this nightmare for Alexander Acosta, he has to tell the complete truth, admit to everything he did, to the cover-up, to the men who he protected. He has to name names. His entire life's been destroyed because of this. He cannot win. He cannot win. And the only way out of this hell is to tell the truth and to have justice prevail. That is the only way karmically to dig himself out of this. Because that is the original reason he was supposed to be a prosecutor. What a nightmare. Can you believe those cards? Those are the worst cards. Can you believe that? So that's Alexander. Do you feel better? Oh my God. I personally have never seen anything like that. So that's Alexander Acosta. Okay, let's do you saw me do the shuffle. Let's do Epstein. Let us do Epstein, my sisters, my brothers. What will be with Jeffrey Epstein? The man who knows how to get around federal monitoring of his computer activity. The things people tell me in the meditative state. What will be with Jeffrey Epstein? What will be the future of Jeffrey Epstein? Universe, give us clarity. Even though I tell people to take tarot with a grain of salt, the truth of the matter is there's some shocking truth that comes out with tarot. We always want to use our intelligence, but this is why people like Carl Jung, educated people, scientists, philosophers, etc., love to dabble in the mystical because there's wisdom there. Look at the base card. Look at this. Again, you saw me shuffle. Does this look like a happy guy to you? You know what he says to me when I go into this on a remote? He says, this hell will never end. This hell will never end for me. It will never end. I will never be able to put this behind me. It will haunt me to the grave. That's what he's saying. Where he's at right now, loss of money. I'm going to be bankrupted from this. What a jerk. Inverted Ace of Wands. Nobody wants to have business with this guy. As above, so below. He's starting to get it. By the way, he's thinking of moving out of Florida, but there's certain things he can't leave. Look at this, Chariot. It's really affected his business. Look at that, 10 of Wands. He's having to sell stuff off, sell things. Oh, he might have to give up the private jet. Oh my God, look at that. Money. Look at his money. Look at his money cards. Remember how I said in the beginning of this that poverty, post-traumatic stress disorder, loss of wages, theft, that child abuse is the ultimate theft, that slavery is the greatest act of theft, that nothing is more horrible than stealing someone's childhood? The end result is everyone that did this to these children will be in every way imaginable impoverished. Physically, mentally, financially. Look at this. Look at this. And health. Inverted Page of Cups, the health card. There will be no redemption. There will be no redemption for Jeffrey Epstein. Clarification. Look at this. What a horrible... He's insane. He's mentally ill. And I think he might have a drug problem with a moon card over an inverted cups card. It's not a devil's card, which would be extreme addiction, but pedophilia is a form of addiction. Inverted cups card with a moon card. He's not mentally well. This guy's not in his right mind, and he's going to be bankrupted from this. So the main concern he has is that his business is collapsing. He's thinking of moving. He may have to give up some stuff or sell some things just to pay off debts. Private lawsuits also in the future. There's something about him wanting to move out of where he's at right now, and he's not right in his mind. God, I can't get over these cards. They're just crazy. I don't gloat when I see people suffer, but people who abuse children, you know how I feel about victims' rights here on Tarot with Whimsy. We believe, because we are modern Buddhists, that innocent people can be victims because other people have free choice. And we are not responsible for someone else's free choice. So innocent people, children, slavery, anyone who's a victim of that is as innocent as the angels. We never blame the victims. We always blame the perpetrator. And let me tell you, it's coming back on them. God bless the survivor. You know, I always tell people, if you are a survivor of child abuse, if you are a survivor of human trafficking, if you are a survivor of that type of horrible abuse, it's almost like if you are a survivor, it's like you've been crowned a type of royalty, in the sense that there's no greater test of one's humanity than to have survived that type of atrocity and choose good. So it's the ultimate challenge karmically, not because you deserved it, but it says a lot about your character as a human being that you survived. And so anyone who tells me that they're a survivor of child abuse that's going out and living a good life and taking care of other people and a good, decent person, for me, that's true royalty. That's the real person with the crown who has to be honored. Not degraded, respected. The crown of dignity that comes with having survived. And so we have to give honor and respect to the women that came forward and spoke about Epstein, because that took real courage. All right, I just want to check now with Michael Cohen and see how his testimony is going to go. Let's take a look. All right, Michael, you bad boy, you mafia lawyer. You're afraid that someone's going to assassinate you. What will be with Michael Cohen? What will be with Michael Cohen? I kind of worry about Michael Cohen because even though what he did was horrible, I don't know, there's just something about the guy where you're just kind of rooting for him. All right, base card. Soul Searcher, very different cards. Seeks enlightenment, seeks the light, seeks knowledge. 3 of Wands, waiting for his ship to come in. This guy is still secretly hoping that someone's going to show him some mercy. Where he's at right now. He's afraid his marriage is going to end. He's afraid that his marriage, his private life may not survive this ordeal. What crosses him? He's confused. He's in a state of incredible confusion. I mean, he's confused. He's afraid his marriage is not going to survive. He's worried about his health. His physical health is starting to take a toll. What happened to all these people? Him, Roger Stone, Epstein, everybody else. Poverty and jail time. All these moving. Yeah, he's moving all right. He's headed to prison. Action, reaction. Guy's broke. He's broke and his choices are limited and he's coming out of a lot of confusion. Look at that. There aren't a lot of choices here. There's only one choice. He's going to jail. Whether or not his marriage will survive, I can't say. Where he's at right now, wants to get out of jail. Jeez. Foolish choices. Mueller's not done with him. He's going to be called back and have to talk to Mueller some more. They're not done there. This investigation is not done. Boy, they uncovered a lot of stuff. Yeah. It's not done for him. Final outcome, additional charges. I'm sorry to say it, but this guy's got possibly more charges down the road. Clarification? SDNY might show him mercy if he cooperates with additional cases that are on their books. They have open criminal investigations, not just with Trump, but with other cases as well at SDNY. And if he's a cooperating witness, then he will be shown mercy by SDNY. New York is going to show some mercy to Cohen if he cooperates with several ongoing investigations, not just on Trump, but the mafia and other people of interest. Wow, what a crazy day today for tarot readings. This was really good, though. I enjoyed it. I don't usually go this long, but if you stayed this long to watch this long tarot reading, then I hope you enjoyed it. Wow, justice prevails, doesn't it? Justice prevails. It's going to be interesting to see all the truth come out. You know what's interesting about propaganda, like the fake propaganda about Pizzagate and all that other stuff, is that it's a fake story to cover up the real story. And the real story is that there was a pedophile ring. There was a pedophile ring in Florida. There's a lot of human trafficking in Florida. And everyone that participated in that is going to be exposed. And there's going to be some amazing investigative journalism that comes out of this. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. My name is Whimsy. If you'd like to find out more about my work or if you'd like to schedule a tarot reading with me, my information is attached to this video, and I would love to give you a reading. I'm not available this coming weekend because I'm at a conference, but I do still have some openings for this coming Wednesday if you're trying to book. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.